There are few who will truly hear this message, and that is no accident. You see, only those who are open to the deepest truths of existence will resonate with what I am about to share. The world you see around you, the circumstances that unfold in your life, are not random. They are not the result of chance. Everything, every event, every person you meet is a reflection of the power within you, the power that you may not even fully realize you possess. But only a few will truly understand this, and that is by design. You have within you the ability to shape your world. What you think, what you believe, what you feel, these are the forces that create your reality. It is not a matter of luck or fate. It is the law of creation itself. And yet so many pass through life unaware of this law, caught in the illusion that they are victims of circumstance. But you are not a victim. You are a creator. And when you awaken to this truth, the entire universe begins to shift in your favor. The thoughts you entertain, the assumptions you hold, these are the seeds you plant in the fertile ground of your mind. And just as surely as a seed planted in the soil will grow into a tree, the thoughts you plant in your mind will manifest in your outer world. Do not think for a moment that your thoughts do not matter. Do not think that your feelings do not have power, for they are the very fabric of the life you experience. It is not an accident that you are hearing this message today. The universe or the divine has led you here. Perhaps you have struggled, perhaps you have questioned, but now, in this moment, the truth is being revealed to you. And while many will walk away, choosing to remain blind to their own power, you, if you choose to listen, will begin to see. You will see that there is nothing in your life that is beyond your control. There is no situation so dire, no challenge so great, that it cannot be transformed by the power of your consciousness. Your imagination, your inner world, is the key to everything you desire. If you can see it in your mind, if you can believe it with all your heart, then it must come to pass. But only a few will truly understand this. Many will hear the words, but they will not grasp the depth of their meaning. Only those who are ready to awaken, who are willing to break free from the limitations of the past, will step into the life they were always meant to live. So know this, nothing in your life is by accident. You are here for a reason, and the message you are receiving is the key to unlocking your own divine potential. As you begin to understand the power of your thoughts, your assumptions, and your imagination, you will begin to see the world around you transform. And when that happens, you will know without a shadow of doubt that you have always been the creator of your reality. Only a few will see this, but those who do will never again doubt their ability to shape the world they experience. Dear Svets, there is a world within you that most will never understand. It is a world where all things are possible, a world where the boundaries of what you think is achievable dissolve into infinite potential. You were not born into this world to merely exist, to go through the motions of life. You were born to create. You were born with a divine spark within you, an intelligence that transcends the limitations of the senses. The world you see around you, your relationships, your circumstances, your very environment, is a reflection of what is happening within your mind, within your heart. The truth is, you are not here by accident. You are here because the divine intelligence that governs all things has brought you to this very moment. You are not a passive observer in the world, you are an active participant in the creation of your own life. But only a few will truly realize this, and that is no accident either. For only those who are ready, only those whose hearts are open, will hear and understand what I am sharing with you now. The law that governs the universe is simple. What you imagine and believe, you will see manifest. It does not matter if you believe this now or not. The law works whether you understand it or not. It is in operation at all times, creating your reality, shaping your experience. The challenge is not in the law itself, but in your understanding of it. Many live their lives unaware that their thoughts, their beliefs, their feelings are shaping every moment of their existence. They are caught in the illusion that things happen to them, that life is a series of random events over which they have no control. But nothing could be further from the truth. What you experience in your outer world is a direct result of what is happening within your inner world. The thoughts you entertain, the assumptions you hold, the feelings you foster, these are the seeds you are planting in the fertile soil of your consciousness. And just as surely as you plant a seed in the ground, it will grow and bear fruit. What you think about, what you feel about, what you imagine will appear in your life. The people, the situations, the circumstances, everything that happens to you is a reflection of your inner state. This may sound like a bold statement, but it is the absolute truth. If you are not experiencing the life you desire, it is not because of what is happening around you. It is because of what is happening within you. The world around you is a mirror, reflecting back to you the thoughts, the beliefs, and the feelings that you hold in your heart. This is why some people seem to effortlessly attract wealth, love, and success, while others struggle endlessly to achieve the same. It is not luck. It is not coincidence. It is the law of creation at work. Now you may be asking yourself, how do I change my life? How do I create the life I truly desire? The answer is simple. You must first change your thinking. You must change your beliefs. You must change your assumptions about who you are and what is possible for you. For as long as you continue to think of yourself as small, as limited, as incapable, you will continue to create a reality that reflects those beliefs. But when you begin to see yourself as the powerful creator that you are, when you begin to recognize that you are not a victim of circumstance, but a master of your own destiny, then you will begin to experience a life of true freedom and possibility. It all starts with imagination. The imagination is the key to unlocking your power. Your imagination is the bridge between your inner world and your outer reality. It is through your imagination that you can see, feel, and experience the life you desire before it has even manifested in the physical world. The imagination is the realm of creation, where all things are born. When you begin to use your imagination consciously and intentionally, you begin to mold your reality with precision. But here's the catch. Most people do not use their imagination in this way. They allow their thoughts to wander aimlessly, allowing the mind to be filled with worries, fears, doubts, and limiting beliefs. They imagine worst-case scenarios, replaying past mistakes, or worrying about things that haven't even happened yet. This is the reason why many live lives of struggle and frustration. They are constantly imagining what they don't want, rather than what they do want. But you are different. You have found this message for a reason. You are ready to understand the power of your own mind, to begin using it intentionally to create the life you desire. The key to doing this is simple. You must begin to imagine the life you want to experience as if it has already happened. You must see yourself living the life you desire, feeling the emotions you would feel if you had already achieved your dreams. You must live in the end result as if it is already done. This is the secret. To create a new reality, you must live as if it already exists. You must walk through your days imagining the success, the wealth, the love, the happiness that you desire as if it is already manifested in your life. This is not daydreaming or wishful thinking. This is a deliberate, purposeful act of creation. You are using the creative power of your imagination to shape the life you want. And as you do this, you will begin to see changes in your outer world. The circumstances, the people, the events, they will begin to align with your new vision. The law of creation cannot fail. It is only a matter of time before what you imagine becomes your reality. And yet, many will not understand this. They will hear the words, but they will not take them to heart. They will continue to live in the illusion that their circumstances are beyond their control. They will continue to see themselves as powerless victims of a world that happens to them. But you are different. You are awakening to the truth of who you are. You are beginning to realize that the power to create the life you desire is within you, and that it always has been. It is not enough to simply think positively. It is not enough to simply imagine. You must also feel what you are imagining. The power of your emotions is what gives your imagination the energy it needs to create. When you feel the emotions of your desire, joy, gratitude, love, excitement, your imagination is fueled with the energy needed to bring it into being. This is why many who focus only on the intellectual aspect of manifestation struggle. They may have a clear vision of what they want, but they do not feel the emotions that accompany it. They do not feel the excitement, the joy, the gratitude that would come with the fulfillment of their desires. Without the emotional charge, the manifestation process is incomplete. But when you imagine and feel the reality you desire with passion and intensity, you send out a powerful signal to the universe, and the universe must respond. It must. The law of creation is as precise as the law of gravity. What you send out into the world, you will receive in return. And so, when you hold the vision of your ideal life in your mind, when you feel the emotions of having already achieved your desires, you are magnetizing those desires to you. The world you see is not fixed. It is malleable, and it is yours to shape. Your past does not dictate your future. Your circumstances do not define who you are or what is possible for you. The only thing that limits you is your belief in what is possible. When you believe that you are limited, you will create a life that reflects those limitations. But when you believe in the infinite possibilities that exist for you, when you believe that anything is possible, you will create a life that reflects those beliefs. To know this, you are the creator of your own reality. You are not bound by the past. You are not defined by your circumstances. The life you desire is waiting for you, and it is already yours in the realm of imagination. All you need to do is claim it. All you need to do is step into the power of your own mind and use it to create the life you were always meant to live. But remember, only a few will truly hear this message. Only a few will awaken to the power within them. Many will remain trapped in their old beliefs, trapped in the illusion of limitation. But you have found the key. You have heard the call, and now it is up to you to step into the life you were born to live. The universe is waiting for you to claim your power, to claim your birthright as a creator of your own reality. The choice is yours. Will you continue to live in the shadows of your old beliefs, or will you step into the light of your true potential? The answer lies within you. It always has. You are standing at the threshold of a great awakening. Every moment of your life has led you to this very point, where the truth of who you are can no longer be denied. The life you have been living, the struggles you've faced, the successes you've enjoyed, all have been stepping stones toward this realization. You are not simply a product of your circumstances, not just a passive participant in the events that unfold around you. You are the architect of your own life, and this is the truth that, once realized, will forever alter the course of your existence. People live their entire lives unaware of the immense power they possess. They walk through the world as if they are simply at the mercy of fate, believing that external forces are responsible for the outcomes they experience. But you are beginning to see differently. You are beginning to recognize that the power to shape your life has always been within you, that it is your thoughts, your beliefs, your assumptions that create the reality you experience. And this truth is not just an idea, it is a law of nature. It is as real as the law of gravity, and just as sure in its operation. The world that surrounds you is a reflection of your inner state. It is a mirror that reflects back to you the beliefs, the feelings, the thoughts that you carry within you. This is why two people can experience the same event, yet have entirely different interpretations of it. One may see it as an opportunity, while the other may see it as a challenge. One may feel empowered by it, while the other may feel defeated. The difference lies not in the event itself, but in how it is perceived, in the thoughts and beliefs that are brought to the experience. You are not a victim of your circumstances. Your life is not the result of random events or forces beyond your control. You are creating your life with every thought, every belief, every assumption. You are constantly sending out vibrations into the universe, and the universe responds by bringing back to you experiences that match those vibrations. This is why it is so important to be conscious of what you are thinking, what you are feeling, and what you are believing. If you are thinking thoughts of limitation, of doubt, of fear, then you are creating a reality that reflects those beliefs. But if you are thinking thoughts of abundance, of love, of success, then you are creating a reality that reflects those higher vibrations. This is the magic of creation. It is not about doing, it is about being. It is not about forcing things into existence. It is about aligning yourself with the energy of your desires and allowing them to flow to you naturally. This is why so many people struggle. They try to force their way into success, to control every aspect of their lives, to manipulate the world around them. But true power comes not from control, but from surrendering to the flow of life, from trusting that what you desire is already on its way to you. The key is to align yourself with the energy of what you want, to see yourself as already having it, and to feel the emotions of having it now. And so, you must learn to trust in the unseen, to have faith in the invisible laws that govern the universe. Faith is not about waiting for proof. It is about knowing that what you desire is already on its way to you. When you believe in the power of your own mind, when you trust that the universe is working in your favor, you begin to see the evidence of that faith in your life. But this is a truth that only a few will truly understand, and that is no accident. The majority will continue to live their lives in the illusion of limitation, convinced that they are subject to the whims of fate. But you are different. You have heard the call, and you are ready to embrace the truth of who you are. The journey to self-realization is not always easy. There will be moments of doubt, moments when you question whether this is truly the path for you. There will be times when the old beliefs, the old patterns, the old fears will try to pull you back into the comfort of the known. But know this, those moments are merely tests of your faith, challenges designed to help you strengthen your belief in your own power. The universe will never ask you to step into the unknown without providing you with the strength to do so. The only question is, will you trust yourself enough to take that first step? When you step into the power of your own mind, when you begin to truly believe that you are the creator of your reality, the world around you will begin to shift. The people you encounter, the opportunities that present themselves, the circumstances that unfold, all will align with the new version of you that you are becoming. But you must be willing to see yourself differently. You must be willing to let go of the old stories, the old identities that have defined you for so long. The past does not define you. Your circumstances do not define you. Only your beliefs, your thoughts, and your assumptions have the power to shape your future. This is why it is so important to guard your thoughts, to be vigilant about the stories you tell yourself. Every thought you think is either a building block for your future or a block to your progress. When you think thoughts of limitation, you are building a future that reflects those limitations. But when you think thoughts of abundance, of possibility, of success, you are laying the foundation for a future that reflects those beliefs. It all begins in the mind, in the thoughts that you choose to think. The imagination is the most powerful tool you have at your disposal. It is through your imagination that you can see, feel, and experience the life you desire before it even manifests in the physical world. Your imagination is not just a fantasy or a daydream. It is the creative force of the universe at work. When you use your imagination intentionally, when you focus on the life you desire with clarity and passion, you are bringing that life into being. The more vividly you imagine your desires, the more real they become, and the more quickly they begin to materialize in your world. But here's the secret. You must imagine from the end. You must see yourself as already living the life you desire. Imagine the feelings, the emotions, the sense of fulfillment that comes with having achieved your goals. Feel it as if it is happening right now. This is the key to manifestation. It is not enough to wish for something or to simply visualize it. You must live in the end result. See it, feel it, experience it as though it is already a reality. When you do this, you align yourself with the energy of your desires, and the universe responds by bringing them to you. This is where the true power of assumption lies. To assume something is to believe it to be true, even if there is no physical evidence to support it. The assumption is the seed that you plant in your consciousness, and the law of creation must bring it into manifestation. This is why it is so important to assume the best, to assume that everything you desire is already yours, because that assumption creates the reality you experience. The law of assumption is not a magic trick. It is the law of creation in action. When you assume that your desires are already fulfilled, you send out the signal to the universe that they are already on their way, and the universe must respond. But not everyone will see this truth. Not everyone will understand that they are the creators of their own reality. Many will continue to live in the illusion of powerlessness, waiting for someone or something else to change their circumstances. But you are awakening to your true power. You are beginning to understand that you are the one who has the ability to shape your life, to create the experiences you desire, to live the life you were always meant to live. The truth is, you are not limited by time, space, or circumstance. You are not defined by the past, by the mistakes you have made, by the challenges you have faced. The only thing that limits you is your belief in your limitations. When you change your beliefs, when you see yourself as limitless, you will begin to create a reality that reflects that belief. You are a divine being, capable of achieving anything you set your mind to, and the universe is ready to support you in your journey. The only question is, will you choose to step into your power? Will you choose to create the life you desire? Or will you continue to live in the shadows of your old beliefs? The choice is yours. Okay? The world around you is not as it seems. What you see, what you experience is not the ultimate reality. It is a reflection, a mirror that echoes your inner world. You may look out upon it and see your struggles, your frustrations, and your challenges, but understand this: none of it is random. None of it is by accident. It is all a projection of the thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions you carry deep within. And once you awaken to this truth, everything in your life begins. You have always been the creator of your reality, even if you didn't realize it. The life you are living right now, the good and the bad, is a result of the thoughts you've consistently entertained. This is not a matter of fate or destiny. It is the result of the energy you have been emitting, the beliefs you have held, and the assumptions you have lived by. If your life is filled with struggle, it is because you have assumed that struggle is your reality. If it is filled with lack, it is because you have assumed that lack is your truth. But this can change in an instant. The key to transformation lies in the power of assumption and belief. What you believe to be true about yourself, about your life, about the world, will show up in your experience. If you believe you are limited, you will find limitations at every turn. If you believe you are incapable, you will continue to create experiences that reinforce that belief. But if you believe in your limitless potential, if you believe that you are the master of your fate, then the universe must align with that truth. It is the law, and it is unbreakable. You may wonder, how do I change my beliefs? How do I begin to see myself differently? The answer is simple. You begin by changing your thoughts. The thoughts you think today are the seeds of your tomorrow. You may not be able to control everything that happens in your life, but you can control your response to it. You can control the way you think, and in doing so, you can control the way you feel. And as your feelings shift, so too will your reality. The key is to take full responsibility for your thoughts. You are the creator of your inner world, and as you change what is within, the world around you must reflect that change. The power of your imagination is unparalleled. You have the ability to create entire worlds within your mind, to experience anything you desire in the realm of thought before it manifests in the physical world. This is the power of imagination. It is not merely a tool for daydreaming. It It is the creative force of the universe itself. The world that you see is an expression of your imagination made manifest. And the beauty of this is that your imagination can be consciously directed. If you do not like what you are experiencing, you have the power to change it, simply by changing your inner vision. Imagine the life you desire. Imagine the success, the peace, the love, and the abundance you want to see. Live in that vision as though it is already real, and the world will shift to meet you. The challenge for most people is that they are too attached to the physical world, too focused on what they can see, hear, and touch. But this is not where creation begins. Creation begins in the unseen, in the invisible world of thought and imagination. When you change your inner vision, you align with a new frequency, and the world around you must change to match it. You must see with the eyes of faith, knowing that what you desire is already on its way, even if you cannot see it yet. And when you live in that faith, when you feel the emotions of having already achieved your desires, the universe must respond. It cannot do otherwise. This is the law. It is essential that you trust in the unseen, in the invisible forces that are always at work on your behalf. The universe is not working against you, it is always working for you. But it can only work with the energy you send out. If you are constantly focused on lack, on fear, on doubt, you are sending out the message that you do not trust in your ability to create, that you do not trust in the abundance of the universe. And so the universe will mirror that back to you. But when you focus on abundance, on possibility, on your inherent power to create, you align yourself with the flow of the universe, and everything begins to shift. This is why so few will truly understand this message. Most people are not yet ready to accept the truth of their own power. They are too attached to the physical world and its limitations. But you are different. You are ready. You are beginning to awaken to the truth that your thoughts are creative, that your imagination is the key to unlocking the life you desire. And with this awareness comes great responsibility. You are the creator of your world, and as such you must take full responsibility for everything that shows up in your life. If there is something you do not like, understand that it is a reflection of your inner state, and as you change your inner state, the outer world must reflect that change. It is easy to blame external circumstances, to look at the world and feel helpless, but the truth is, nothing in your life is beyond your control. Your circumstances do not define you. You define your circumstances. And when you understand that, when you begin to see the power within you, your life will begin to transform. The power to change your life lies not in the world around you, but in the world within you. You are the one who holds the keys to your destiny. And as you begin to use the power of your thoughts, your beliefs, and your imagination, you will see doors open, opportunities appear, and miracles unfold. It is not about waiting for something outside of you to change. It is about changing your inner world first, knowing that as you do, the world around you will shift. This is the key to manifestation, to believe in the unseen, to trust that what you desire is already yours, and to feel the emotions of having it now. When you live in that state of faith, when you align with your desires as if they are already a reality, the universe has no choice but to bring them into your experience. It is the law of creation, and it works every time for everyone who is willing to apply it. The greatest gift you can give yourself is the realization of your own power. When you understand that you are the creator of your reality, you no longer have to wait for life to happen to you. You no longer have to be a passive observer of your circumstances. You become the active participant, the creator of your destiny. And as you step into that power, as you claim your role as the creator of your life, everything begins to change. The people you meet, the opportunities that arise, the experiences you have, all will begin to align with the new vision you hold for yourself. So take a moment and look within. What is it that you truly desire? What life do you want to create? The power to manifest that life lies within you, in your thoughts, your beliefs, your imagination. And when you begin to believe in the possibility of your desires, when you trust in your ability to create, the universe will respond. This is not an accident. This is the law. And as you awaken to it, your life will unfold in ways that you never thought possible. You are the creator, you always have been. The question is, what will you create today? As you stand on the edge of this great revelation, understand that the power to create your reality has always been within you. The world you see around you is merely a reflection of the thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions you have carried within your mind. The key to transformation is not found in external circumstances, but in the awareness of your own power to shape your life. When you change your inner world, the outer world must follow suit. You are not a victim of fate, nor are you bound by the limitations of your past. You are the creator of your destiny, and as you step into the truth of who you are, your life will unfold in alignment with your highest vision. The law of creation is always at work, responding to the vibrations you send out, so begin today to align with your desires, to see them as already fulfilled, and to trust in the unseen forces that are guiding you toward your dream. Remember, this truth is not for everyone. Only those who are ready to awaken will truly understand. But for you, the path has already begun. You have heard the call, and you are now stepping into the fullness of your power. Embrace it, trust it, and know that as you do, the world will transform before your eyes. The life you've always desired is already on its way to you. All you need to do is step into it and claim it as your own. The journey has just begun, and the possibilities are endless. You stand at the threshold of your own becoming. The world that surrounds you, with its limitations and appearances, is but the outpicturing of your inner state. What you accept as true within yourself becomes the frame upon which your life is built. Therefore, do not shrink into small thoughts or dwell in the shadow of doubt. Assume the stature of one who is building an empire, not in arrogance, but in divine certainty. Act as if what you desire is already yours, for you do not attract what you want, you attract what you are conscious of being. If you see yourself as one merely hoping, merely trying, then the world will reflect that unsettled ground. But if you walk as though the empire is already laid in stone, if you move through this day with the poise, the vision, the deliberate command of one who knows, then the unseen will arrange itself to fulfill that. Knowing, you must enter the state of the wish fulfilled. You must dwell there, not as a visitor, not as one passing through, but as a permanent resident. The thoughts you think, the words you speak, the tone in your voice, the atmosphere of your being, they must all come into harmony with the version of you who reigns in that empire. Not someday, now. Do not look to the facts around you, for facts are merely echoes of old beliefs. Look instead to the invisible cause within you. That is where the real building begins. That is where the blueprint is drawn, not with hands, but with assumption. You must feel it real. You must know that every great structure was once invisible, and it became visible only because someone dared to see it when no one else could. Speak as the emperor would speak. Move as the empress would move. Make decisions not as the person waiting to arrive, but as the one who has already arrived. You are not becoming, you are remembering. You are not hoping, you are assuming. And assumption, when persisted in, hardens into fact. This empire you are building is not merely of stone and title. It is an atmosphere, a consciousness, a dominion. It begins with your word and is sustained by your belief. When your inner speech aligns with your divine identity, then what you once called miracles will become your daily inheritance. The outer must bend to the inner. That is law. So carry yourself today as if the empire is already yours, not to impress the world, but to instruct it. You are the operant power, you are the cause. Assume your throne within, and the world will rise to meet your reign. You need not consult the opinions of others, for they see only with their natural eyes. They judge by appearances, but you are called to walk by vision, inner vision. Do not ask how or when. These are questions rooted in fear and separation. The one who builds an empire does not question the strength of the foundation once the cornerstone is laid. And the cornerstone, in your case, is assumption. Radical, unwavering assumption that what you claim in consciousness is already fact. Feel the texture of the life you have imagined. Do not think of it as a distant possibility. Think from it, feel from it, live from it. Imagine the conversations you would have if it were already so. Hear the sound of your voice as one who has conquered limitation. Taste the sweetness of fulfillment. Breathe in the certainty of your success. This is not fantasy. It is the only creative act there is. Everything else is the echo. The world will resist at first, not because it is against you, but because it is structured to reflect only what you've accepted as real. Change your acceptance and the world must follow. Persist in the unseen and the seen will yield. Many falter here because they return to the senses for validation. But the senses can only echo past belief. The moment you turn back to ask, is it working? You step out of the state. You must persist, as though it is already complete, even if the world remains silent. Silence is not absence, it is gestation. And in this holy silence, all things are preparing to reveal themselves. Do not disturb the process with doubt. Do not pluck the seed from the soil to see if it is growing. Remain, trust, know, act. You must train your mind to remain faithful to the new state. And this is done through the sacred practice of inner speech. Your inner conversations are the architects of your world. What are you saying to yourself? What are you entertaining in the secrecy of your own mind? If you wish to rule in the outer, you must first govern the inner. If your self-talk is still filled with lack, with confusion, with insecurity, then do not be surprised if your life echoes back the same tune. Change the tone, change the story. Speak within yourself as one who has already arrived. Walk in the room as though it belongs to you, not in ego but in knowing. You are not a beggar of destiny, you are the maker of it. You are not a servant of fate, you are its master. And all that you desire already exists in the invisible. You are not creating something from nothing. You are tuning yourself to the frequency where it already is. Imagination is the only redemptive power. If you would build an empire, you must learn to live in imagination more than you live in the five senses. Feel the reality of your empire before one stone is laid. See the crowds, feel the honor, know the abundance, walk in the peace. Let it be so alive in you that the world must yield to it. Let no contradiction in the outer cause you to abandon the truth you've conceived within. Elders, you may be tempted to shrink, to go back to the old way of thinking, the safe way. But safety is the enemy of expansion. You were not born for survival, you were born for dominion. You are not born to react, you are born to create. Every time you choose imagination over circumstance, you reaffirm your divinity. Every time you feel from the end, you ascend to your true place of power. Do not worry if no one sees what you see. They will, in time. For as you persist, the unseen becomes seen. That which is real in the world of spirit will harden into form. And then the same people who doubt it will ask how it happened. They will call you lucky. They will say you were in the right place at the right time. But you will know you were in the right state at the right time. The world is only the mirror. You do not chase the empire. You become the one who already owns it. You do not run after opportunity. You dwell in the state where opportunity seeks you out. All things move to support the man or woman who knows who they are. Your job is not to force. Your job is to assume the state and remain loyal to it. That loyalty is your power. When you wake in the morning, do not simply rise, assume. When you step out into the day, do not simply move, command. Let every step carry the weight of your vision. Let your body become the vessel of your assumption. This is not performance. This is embodiment. It is not about pretending. It is about being. You are not acting to deceive. You are acting to declare. What you see now may be small, but do not despise small beginnings. Even an empire begins with a thought, a single seed, a single act of faith. Do not say it is too late or it is too big. Time is irrelevant to the one who lives in the eternal now. The moment you enter the state, the thing is done. The moment you dwell in the end, the means begin to arrange themselves. Leave the how to the wisdom of the unseen. So your job is to stay in the state. You may feel resistance. Good. That is proof that something is shifting. That is the fire in which the old self is being dissolved. Let it burn. Let the doubt come, but do not dwell in it. Return, always return to the state of the wish fulfilled. That is your home now. That is your holy ground. Even when nothing appears to be happening, something is. The law does not fail. Consciousness is always being made manifest. The question is never, will it happen? The question is always, am I in the state? For the state is the cause and the world is the effect. It is not ambition that builds the empire. It is assumption. You may have the best strategy, the finest connections, the strongest will. But if your inner man is still seeing himself as small, then all effort is vain. But if your inner eye is filled with the vision of greatness, then the outer must catch up. Live as if, speak as if, decide as if, feel as if. This is not some surface trick. This is the secret of creation. The world was formed by words, and you are made in the image of that creative power. Your word is not idle. Your thought is not meaningless. Every feeling you dwell in is a prophecy of what is to come. Choose wisely. There is no power outside of you deciding your fate. That is the great illusion. You are not waiting for permission. You are not hoping for luck. You are not seeking validation. You are the one who says, it is so. And the universe must echo, Amen. You do not need more effort. You need more awareness. You do not need more time. You need more alignment. You do not need more help. You need to help yourself by assuming the identity of the one who already has it. That identity is not something you earn. It is something you choose. And once you have chosen, persist. Let no outer storm shake your inner peace. Let no contradiction pull you from your throne. When the world says no, let your assumption say yes. When the world shows lack, let your inner vision show abundance. When the world delays, let your faith declare it done. No one is listening to you. You are not here to reflect the world. You are here to reshape it. You are not here to repeat old stories. You are here to write new ones. Let your mind become the sanctuary of your vision. Let your heart become the throne of your desire. Let your speech become the sound of fulfillment. And above all, feel it really. Every day, feel it as though it were already done. Carry the mood of victory. Rest in the knowing of completion. Celebrate the unseen, for the one who celebrates before it arrives hastens its arrival. The one who assumes without doubt accelerates the path. The world belongs to those who dare to imagine boldly and persist faithfully. If you are building an empire, then carry yourself as its builder. Think from its heights. Feel from its riches. Move with its grace. And know with absolute inner calm that what you have imagined is already yours, because you have accepted it, you have claimed it, you have become it. And the world has no choice but to obey. Remain in the state. Let that be your highest discipline. No matter what the world presents, no matter the delays, the silence, the contradictions, remain. For it is in the persistence that the unseen begins to take shape. The lazy mind will retreat to facts. The trained mind lives from vision. This is your training now, not to react, but to remain. Not to plead, but to possess. You are the creator of it. You know you believe in love in the first place? Will you step back into the familiar identity of limitation, or will you remain loyal to the unseen empire you are building within? That choice will shape every conversation, every decision, every movement you make. The outer world is clay and you are the potter, but the hands that mold it are invisible. They are your assumptions, your inner talks, your feelings, your state. Speak from the mountain, not from the valley. Do not describe your life as it appears. Declare it as it truly is, in your inner knowing. When you see lack, affirm abundance. When you face resistance, affirm ease. When fear whispers, speak back with authority. The empire is not just a structure. It is a vibration, a dominion, a confidence so deeply anchored that nothing in the world can shake it. This is why you must be still and know. Not know intellectually, know in being. There is a stillness in the one who walks in the end, a calm in the one who has seen the victory and feels no need to explain, no need to convince, no need to strive. That is the stillness of dominion. That is the poise of the true creator. Act from that, live from that. When you act as if, you are not pretending, you are assuming your true identity. The world may not recognize you immediately. It may push back. Let it. That is not your concern. Your only concern is the alignment of your inner state. Are you thinking from the end? Are you speaking from fulfillment? Are you walking in the energy of the one who has already received? That is the only measure that matters. You cannot build a palace from the consciousness of a beggar. You cannot rule a kingdom from the identity of a servant. You must rise into the state, and then let every thought, every movement, every expression proceed from that altitude. When you feel the temptation to fall back, to shrink, to apologize for your greatness, reject it. That is the echo of the old self, the self that no longer governs your reality. Do not wait for signs. You are the sign. Do not wait for permission. You are the authority. What you decree within yourself will shape what you encounter outside yourself. The world responds to conviction, not to hoping. It bends to the inner tone of one who knows. When you walk as if it is already done, the universe rushes to confirm it. Let your mornings begin with gratitude for what is already yours in spirit, not for what might come, but for what already is. Gratitude is not just a polite gesture, it is a declaration of possession. It says, I have received, and that statement alone rearranges reality. Do not beg the world for evidence. Thank the unseen for fulfillment. That is the posture of one who builds an empire in consciousness. Your assumptions are the law. Your inner world is the cause. The world you touch and see is not your master. It is your mirror. And a mirror can only reflect what is placed before it. If you show it doubt, it gives you delay. If you show it fear, it gives you struggle. If you show it the face of completion, it will begin to conform. You may not know the means, you may not know the timeline, but you do not need to. You need only to remain faithful to the end. The means are secondary, the how is handled by the law. Your only duty is to feel it real, now, and to never step outside that state. And when your mind tries to wander, gently bring it back. When fear knocks, answer with the voice of fulfillment. When the old thoughts come, let them pass. They are not your truth. They are echoes, and you have moved beyond them. You are not your past, not your doubts, not your memories of failure. You are your vision, your assumption, your present embodiment of what is already yours. Even now, your world is changing. Perhaps not where the eye can see, but deep in the unseen, everything is moving into place. Every assumption you persist in is a command. Every vision you return to is a seed watered. Keep watering, keep tending. Let no wind or storm pull you from the garden you've planted. There is no magic greater than belief, no power stronger than assumption. To act as if is to create from the Spirit. It is to see with the eye of God. You are not small, you are not powerless, you are not a victim. You are the dreamer of the world, and what you consent to imagine as real must become real. For you can hold the end in mind, feel its emotion, live in its atmosphere, then everything between now and that fulfillment is only scenery. It is not your concern. The empire you see within will call forth the necessary means. The right people, the right doors, the right words, all will arise in harmony with your state. Let your body feel what the future already holds. Let your breath match the rhythm of your fulfilled desire. Let your words flow from the seat of your victory. This is how you draw it near, by refusing to be outside it. You are not reaching for it. You are dwelling in it. The one who walks in fulfillment is not hurried. They are not desperate. They are not concerned with competition. They know what is theirs cannot be taken, and what they have assumed is on its way, because it must be. Law does not break. It does not discriminate. It simply fulfills the state. And so, remain in the state, no matter what, even when nothing changes, even when things appear to worsen. These are the final tests, the shadows before the dawn. The one who persists through them gains everything. Feel it more deeply in those moments. Affirm it more boldly, and the veil will lift. This is not about convincing others. It is about convincing yourself. When your inner conviction becomes unshakable, the outer must bow. This is law. This is truth. Let every cell in your body respond to that knowing. Walk taller. Breathe fuller. Speak slower. The one who has already received is never in a rush. You do not need to prove anything. Your being is the proof. Your vibration is the evidence. The world will catch up. Do not judge the harvest by the first sprouts. Do not curse the process before it completes. Every masterpiece takes time, but the blueprint is already alive within you. It is written on your heart, engraved in your imagination. And that which you continue to see, you will soon hold. This empire is not only wealth or fame or power, it is dominion over self. It is mastery of thought, of speech, of imagination. It is peace that does not depend on conditions. It is joy without cause. It is love that cannot be moved. Build from there. Rule from there. And if ever you fall, rise again. If ever you forget, remember. If ever you doubt, choose faith. Not blind belief, but knowing born of vision. This is your inheritance. This is your identity. You are not becoming the builder, you are the builder. You are not waiting for the moment, you are the moment. Now walk as one who rules, sit as one who knows, dream as one who creates. Let your entire being carry the weight of your vision. You are not here to survive, you are here to reign. You are not here to imitate, you are here to originate. The empire has already begun. It begins in thought, it is sustained by feeling, and it is made visible through assumption. Stay loyal to it. Let nothing dissuade you. Let no fact override your knowing. Assume the end, persist, and the end will assume you. You must become unmoved in a world full of motion. Let others waver, doubt, and debate. Let others chase what they believe is outside of them. You remain. Let them speak of odds and statistics, of markets and trends, but you remain centered in your knowing. There is no outer evidence stronger than inner conviction. The moment you stop looking for signs and start becoming the sign, the entire structure of your world begins to shift. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are doing the most sacred act of creation. You are stepping out of time. You are no longer reacting to what is, but declaring what is to be. The one who builds from imagination does not ask, is it realistic? They ask, is it real within me? And if it is, then it must come to pass. It is already done. It is already finished. The rest is simply alignment and unfolding. You were never meant to live in reaction. You were never meant to be at the mercy of facts. You are meant to create facts. Your state of being determines what facts appear in your life. So ask yourself not what is happening around you, but what you are accepting within. Are you walking in the end? Are you living from fulfillment? Are you embodying your empire before the bricks are even laid? It is not arrogance to live this way. It is truth. For truth does not need approval. Truth does not shrink to fit opinion. It stands quietly, powerfully, and draws all things to itself. So live from the truth of your vision. Let your actions flow from that vision. Not to prove anything, not to manipulate, but because it is already so. When you know the outcome, you walk differently. You speak differently. You move through life with a quiet fire. This fire is not loud. It does not boast. It does not try to convince. It simply is. And when you walk with that flame burning in your chest, the world takes notice. It may not say so immediately, but it responds. The law of assumption is not delayed, it is precise. Your outer world is always catching up to your inner stance. So stand firm. Your mind will offer you every excuse to doubt. It will present every old memory, every failed attempt, every reason why you should play small. Do not argue, simply return. Return to the state, return to the end. Let the noise fade and the vision take over. You do not need to explain your process. You only need to feel the end so completely that it becomes your atmosphere. Every time you persist, you are chiseling away the false image of limitation. Every time you refuse to yield to appearances, you are reaffirming your power. This is not a game of chance. It is the path of mastery, and mastery comes through repetition, through discipline, through the unwavering decision to dwell in the reality you have chosen. Let your inner conversations be sacred. Let them be deliberate. Let them match the tone of the one who has already received. You are not preparing to be, you are. That shift changes everything. You are not wishing, not hoping, not striving. You are resting in the knowing. You are breathing as one who has inherited the kingdom. You are acting not to gain, but because you have already gained. that's subtle change, from seeking to being, is the hinge on which all transformation swings. And though the world may take time to catch up, time itself becomes your servant when you live in the end. What once seemed far begins to draw near. What once looked impossible begins to organize itself around you. Not through effort, but through alignment. Not through pressure, but through assumption. You are not required to figure out every detail. You are required to remain in the state. The details are not your work. They are the work of the unseen forces responding to the tone of your inner world. You are the sender, reality is the receiver. But the message must be clear. It must be consistent. You cannot send one signal in the morning and a different one at night and expect harmony. Choose the frequency of fulfillment and stay there. Your thoughts are prayers. Your feelings are commands. Your assumptions are laws. There is no neutral moment. You are always creating, always broadcasting, always shaping. So do it consciously. Do it deliberately. Do it with the weight and joy of someone who understands that reality is malleable and that imagination is the tool of God within. When you speak, speak as the one who knows. When you move, move as the one who possesses. When you imagine, do not ask. Declare, and when you doubt, do not condemn yourself. Simply shift. Shift back into the end, back into the knowing, back into the feeling of completion. It is not about never wavering. It is about returning faster, returning with more power each time. And as you continue to return, something within you changes. You begin to identify not with the desire, but with the fulfillment. You no longer see yourself as the one hoping, but as the one who already is. That shift collapses time. It lifts you above circumstance. It opens doors that effort alone could never open. You are not building an empire brick by brick. You are building it thought by thought, feeling by feeling, assumption by assumption. Each moment you live in the end, another piece falls into place. Not because you forced it, but because you became it, because you assumed it, because you dared to declare, "This is who I am now." And the law, faithful and exact, echoes back, "Yes, you are." So now, walk forth, not as one who waits, but as one who knows. Let your very presence affirm the reality of your unseen empire. Let your silence speak louder than words. Your stillness carry the weight of kingdoms. You need not convince anyone. You need only become. For when you live from the end rushes to meet you. All things align, all pieces move, all reality bends, because you have assumed your throne. You are not preparing to reign, you are reigning now. You have imagined, and now the seed is sown. Though the soil seems still, the roots have taken hold in the unseen. Do not look to the surface for signs, for the harvest does not first announce itself with a trumpet. It breaks through quietly, yet with force, shaped by the law that what you accept inwardly must express itself outwardly. This is not speculation, it is law. You may say, "But I see nothing changing," and I tell you, that very statement is a confession of forgetfulness. The moment you imagined it, truly accepted it as real in your mind, it began. Not one moment is wasted in the unseen realm. All things are prepared in silence before they are shouted from the mountaintop of experience. The outer world may seem slow, but it is only reflecting what you dare to sustain inwardly. You must walk as if it is already yours, not with arrogance, but with quiet knowing, for when the inner man moves, the outer world bows to meet him. The universe, though it appears vast and impersonal, is, in truth, intimate and immediate. It hears your assumptions and moves mountains to honor them. But it does not always come in the way you expect. No, its genius lies in surprise, in the beautiful unfolding of what you could not plan. You may think it will come from the job, or the friend, or the letter in the mail, but it may come from a stranger's smile, a sudden meeting, a dream that whispers a solution. Do not try to force the channel. Do not say, "It must come through this way or not at all." That is blindness. The power that shapes the stars knows no limits. and it will bring to you what you have accepted within, pressed down, shaken together, running over from places your mind could not imagine. You are not waiting on the universe is waiting on you, waiting for your full acceptance, your willingness to feel that what you desire is already so. And when that moment comes, when you dare to claim it and persist in that assumption, not even the passage of time can stop the return. What is yours by assumption is yours by right. The unseen hand is already arranging, moving, lifting, clearing the way. And when it comes, you will laugh, for you will say, had I known it would come like this, I would not have worried. But the journey was part of the blessing. The mystery was part of the magic. You are more powerful than you know, and what is yours is already on its way, not in the way you think, but in ways more perfect than you could ever plan. You may look around and see delay, resistance, or the absence of any visible change, and yet something far more potent is happening beneath what your eyes can detect. The moment you consented inwardly, the law began to work on your behalf. You need not repeat the command 1,000 times. It is not in the multitude of words, but in the feeling of certainty, the inner knowing, the sustained belief that the thing desired is already done. It is your consciousness that calls all things into form, and it is your assumption held faithfully that acts as the bridge between the invisible and the visible. You cannot beg, plead, or bargain with the universe, for it does not hear your words. It responds to your state of being. Are you dwelling in the state of lack, or are you living in the state of fulfilled desire, not once, not occasionally, but persistently? For every moment you return to the old state, doubting, fearing, rehearsing the absence, you give new life to the very thing you wish to escape. And yet, even this is forgiven, for the moment you shift, the whole world begins to rearrange itself again. What you are seeking does not come by force, it comes by surrender. Not surrender to circumstances, but surrender to the inner knowing that it is done. This is not passive resignation. This is active creation. To assume the wish fulfilled is to live from the end, to walk and speak and think as though it were already true. And in doing so, you become magnetic, not by effort, but by alignment. All things then move to meet you, not because you chase them, but because they recognize you as their rightful owner. There is no power outside of consciousness. No condition has authority over the one who knows where the true power resides. You are not at the mercy of the world is at the mercy of your inner state. Stop giving your attention to appearances that contradict your desire. They are but shadows of previous assumptions. They have no real substance, and they must pass just as night must give way to dawn when the sun rises in your awareness. Do not concern yourself with the how. The mind always wants a map, a method, a step-by-step process, but this power does not operate by logic, it operates by law, and the law is simple. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Live in the end, dwell in the state that matches your desire. Everything else is details already being arranged in ways that will astonish you. Your only task is to remain faithful to the vision, undisturbed by facts or time. You may think, but I have imagined before and nothing came, and yet I say, nothing imagined with conviction is ever lost. Every assumption, when held in faith, is a seed, and no seed goes unfulfilled unless you dig it up with doubt. You may not have noticed the moment the tides began to turn, but turn they did. Life does not forget your declaration. The universe does not mock your desire. It returns to you exactly what you dare to claim. And if the vision is delayed, it is only that more perfect arrangements are being made. Sometimes the delay is not in the world, but in you. Sometimes you are still dancing between the old and the new, still telling the story of lack, still identifying with limitation. But the moment you drop that identity, truly drop it, the shift becomes immediate. You do not need years of striving to change. Change can come in an instant, the very instant you assume a new concept of yourself. For that is the secret. You are not changing things, you are changing you. And the world is only reflecting you back to yourself. There are those who will say, be realistic. But what is realism if not agreeing to the limitations of the senses? What is realism if not bowing to the evidence of the past? Your future is not born of facts, it is born of faith. The one who walks in imagination is never at the mercy of what is, because they know what is only a shadow of what was believed. Change the belief and the shadow must follow. Even now, even in this moment, you can choose a new reality. Not tomorrow, not when circumstances are perfect, but now. Close your eyes and step into the scene that implies your wish is already fulfilled. Feel it, touch it, breathe in that world as if it were more real than the one around you. And as you do, something shifts. Not out there, but in here, and that shift is everything. For once you change within, the outer world must bend to match. This is not fantasy, this is law. What you feel as true becomes true, not by accident, but by design. And the more natural your assumption becomes, the more inevitable the manifestation. Do not seek to control the outer, that is chasing shadows. Control the inner, and the outer must follow. That is the secret the world overlooks. Your imagination is the womb of reality. You will be repaid, yes, but not in the way you thought. For the universe repays not according to effort, but according to assumption. You may toil and sweat and strive for decades and still receive little if within you dwell in lack. But you may assume abundance, peace, love boldly without apology and receive in a week what others wait lifetimes for. Not because you are more deserving, but because you dared to claim it. That is the only qualification, belief. And when it comes, as it surely will, it will come dressed in ways you could not predict. The phone call you never expected, the opportunity that knocks without warning, the stranger who utters the very words you needed to hear. The world moves in mysterious precision to deliver your claim, and it is not your job to understand the choreography. Your only job is to remain in the state, unwavering, unshaken by appearances. There is no such thing as too late. Time cannot stop what is yours by divine right. Delay is not denial. Delay is often the disguise of perfection. If you only knew how intricately your desire is being prepared for you, how all things, even seeming setbacks, are playing a role, you would smile in the waiting. You would relax in the unknown. For the unknown is where the magic lives. Let others call it foolishness, let others scoff at the unseen. You will know by experience that what is imagined with faith becomes fact. You will have moments when you laugh in joy, not because of what has appeared, but because you remember that you are the cause and the world is the mirror. You cannot ask too much. You cannot dream too big. The limits are only those you place upon yourself. There is no virtue in smallness. Your birthright is abundance, in love, in joy, in peace, in wealth. But to receive it, you must become it. Not in pretense, but in true embodiment. You must feel it real until it becomes the most natural thing in the world. And when it does, you will not be surprised when it appears. You will say, of course. For it was already yours the moment you claimed it. The outer arrival was just the echo. The substance was in the assumption. Do not be dismayed by time. Time is only the servant of the eternal. The eternal is your imagination, and time bows to it. There are no delays in the realm of cause. The only delay is in your alignment. Return again and again to the end you desire. See it, feel it, live it within, and as you do, the bridge of incidents will unfold, often silently, often invisibly, but always faithfully. You may wake one morning, and everything looks the same, but something within will feel different. That is the sign. The shift has happened. The old man is gone. The new man has taken root. And from that point on, reality must obey. The characters may change, the scenes may rearrange, but the outcome is fixed, because you are fixed in the state of the wish fulfilled. And then the repayment comes, in ways that defy logic, in timing that humbles the intellect, in abundance that makes you weep, not from surprise, but from recognition. You will remember the moment you claimed it in silence. You will remember the moment you refused to let go. And you will understand that the real treasure was not in the thing received, but in the power realized. You will see the whole world differently, not as something to manipulate, but as something to reflect your inner world. And you will bless the delay. You will thank the process, because it brought you to this moment of awareness. And once you awaken to it, you can never return to the old way of thinking. You will never again plead with the world, for you will know the world is not the source, you are. The world is not the authority, you are. The world is not the gatekeeper, you are. And from that knowing, you live freely. You give generously. You walk lightly, for you are no longer bound by circumstance. You are moved only by vision, sustained only by faith, guided only by the silent whisper of your imagination. And it leads you, always perfectly, to the unfolding of your highest good. Even when the senses scream otherwise, even when the outer world offers no hint that anything has changed, you must hold fast to the unseen reality you have claimed within. That is the test, and that is also the triumph. To stand in the midst of lack and declare abundance, to walk through the shadows while affirming the light, this is not fantasy. This is mastery. This is the power given to you the moment you dared to imagine a new state of being and accept it as your truth. You are not required to explain it to others. They may not understand, and that is fine. They have not seen what you have seen in the secret place. They did not feel what you felt when you assumed your desire to be real. And so they will speak from their level of awareness, from their reliance on facts and history. But you have stepped into a greater dimension. You have learned the difference between truth and appearance. And because you live from that truth, the world has no choice but to bend. There will be moments when doubt knocks at the door. That is natural. It is the echo of old conditioning. But you must not let it in. You must not entertain it like an honored guest. Instead, return instantly to the state of your fulfilled desire. Dwell there. Speak from it. Feel it, not as a hope, but as a fact. And the longer you live from that inner place, the more natural it becomes, the more solid, the more undeniable. Eventually, the world outside must conform, not because you forced it, but because you became it. You see, the universe does not reward effort, it responds to identity. And identity is formed by assumption. If you believe you are lacking, striving, hoping, then all your efforts will mirror that belief. But when you assume you are already that which you desire to be, without a shred of physical evidence, you activate the creative principle in its purest form. You are no longer pushing reality, you are radiating it. It matters not how improbable your desire may seem. It matters not how long you have lived in the old story. In the eternal now, transformation is always available. You can rewrite your entire world by changing your inner concept. One assumption held in faith is worth more than years of external labor. For once the cause is changed, the effect must follow. That is the law, and it never fails. And so you walk through your days in quiet confidence, not because everything is perfect, but because you are aligned. You do not beg reality to change, you simply declare that it already has, and move as though it was so. You greet each moment not with fear, but with expectancy, knowing that the universe is always responding, always reflecting, always orchestrating, the scene that matches your innermost self-concept. And in the waiting, you are tempted to worry. Remind yourself the bridge is being built. Every event, every conversation, every coincidence is part of the path. You may not see the full picture, but you don't need to. You only need to persist in the assumption your inner conviction is enough. The how, the when, the through whom, those are not your concern. Leave that to the intelligence that governs the stars. It knows your desire, and it knows the most elegant path to bring it into form. You must become familiar with the feeling of fulfillment. Live in it as though it were your home. because it is your home. The more you dwell there, the more you carry that frequency into every room, every conversation, every moment. You shift timelines by shifting identity. You collapse delays by refusing to doubt. There is no effort required to become who you already are. There is only the releasing of resistance, the shedding of the old story, and the willingness to stand in your new reality, even when the evidence is yet unseen. And that is when the miracles begin. Not because you earned them, but because you aligned with them. Not because you forced the world to change, but because you changed, and the world could not help but reflect it. And these miracles will come quietly at first, whispers, nudges, subtle shifts, but soon they will crescendo into events that no logic could have orchestrated. That is the beauty of it. It is not your task to force the orchestra to play. It is your task to assume the music has already begun and move to its rhythm. Do not speak of your desire as something far off. Speak of it as something real and present. When you talk about it, talk from it. Do not say, I hope to have it one day. Say instead, I am grateful that it is mine. This is not delusion, this is creation. This is how the invisible becomes visible. The word, the feeling, the mental image, all of these are tools, sacred instruments through which the infinite expresses itself. Use them with purpose, use them with joy, use them to build your world. And when the people around you ask, how did you do it? You will not be able to give them a formula. You will simply say, I saw it within and walked in it before the world saw it without. That is the secret. The world is not your enemy, it is your mirror. It does not withhold, it reflects. The moment you assume a new state, the world begins to reflect that state back to you. Not always instantly, but always inevitably. And so if you want to change your life, do not fight the world. Change the conception of yourself. Dare to believe that you already are what you desire to be. Let that belief take root and persist in it through every season. Yes, storms may come, winds may shake the branches, but if your roots are deep in the truth of your fulfilled desire, nothing can uproot you. You will stand firm until the fruit appears, ripe and undeniable. It is a sacred thing, this power within you. It is not a tool to be used lightly, nor a game to be played with half-hearted intent. It is the same power that said, let there be light, and there was light. And it has been given to you, not to abuse, but to align with. When you use it in love, in faith, in boldness, the results are inevitable. You begin to live in a state of grace where all things work together for your good. And yet, even in your moments of forgetfulness, the law does not punish. It simply reflects. If you slip into fear, you will see fear. If you shift back to lack, you will meet lack. But the moment you return to the higher state, reality follows. There is no condemnation, only reflection. And this means that redemption is always available. Change is never more than one assumption away. You have not come this far to give up at the sight of temporary shadows. You have not awakened to truth only to bow to appearances. You are here to remember, again and again, that you are the operant power, that what you feel within, you bring forth, that the universe is your servant, not your master. It waits on your instruction, not your hesitation. It moves according to your inner vision, not your outer circumstances. And yes, it is coming, not as a result of striving, but as a result of being, not because you begged, but because you believed. It is coming in forms that will make you gasp, in timing that will humble your old ideas of control, in blessings that will wash over you like rain after drought. You will not need to chase it, you will not need to cling to it, you will simply receive, because you have already accepted. You are not a beggar in this universe. You are not a pawn of fate. You are the author, the dreamer, the one who speaks things into being and sees them appear. And as you deepen in this knowing, the world transforms before your very eyes. not because the world changed, but because you did. And so, let others wonder, let others watch. You will know what they cannot yet see, that the most powerful force in the universe is assumption held in faith, that what you embody within, you attract without, that the reward always comes not as the world gives, but as the Lord decrees, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, in ways you never expected, but in ways that leave no doubt that it was always yours. And when it comes, when that long-held vision stands before you, clothed in flesh, shaped in form, radiant in reality, you will not feel surprise, you will feel recognition. You will say, of course, because deep within you had already lived this moment 100 times. You had rehearsed its presence, embraced its nearness, touched it in the silence of your own imagination. The world will call it a miracle, but you will call it fulfillment. Fulfillment of the word spoken in stillness. Fulfillment of the seed planted in the invisible. Fulfillment of the truth that was always more real than any passing fact. You begin to see that it was never about the thing itself, never about the relationship, the money, the healing, the opportunity. Those were simply mirrors, reflections of who you chose to be in consciousness. And now that you have claimed your power, you realize you could be, do, or have anything, not because of privilege, not because of luck, but because you are the one who assumes. You are the one who decides. And the moment you accept that identity without compromise, the world becomes your canvas. You look back, not with regret, but with understanding. Even the delays were a gift. Even the obstacles were refining you, pressing you deeper into conviction, forcing you to release dependency on what is seen and trust in what is felt. You learn to walk by inner vision, not by outer sight. And that, more than the outcome, is the true treasure. You have remembered who you are. And now you walk differently. You carry the stillness of knowing. You do not rush to fix, to chase, to strive. You dwell in the state and let the world catch up. You no longer demand that others validate your dream. You no longer need signs and confirmations to believe. Your belief is the sign. Your faith is the confirmation. You hold your inner reality with reverence, for you know that it is holy ground. Every thought a seed, every feeling a decree. You have tasted the power of assumption, and you are no longer willing to live beneath your inheritance. You no longer speak of lack or impossibility or waiting for the perfect moment. You are the perfect moment. You are the one the world has been waiting for. You no longer ask, when will it come? You say, it is already here, and you watch as reality aligns itself to match that bold claim. Now understand that your only real work is to maintain the state, to return again and again to the end, to refuse to entertain lesser thoughts, to forgive the old identity, not by wrestling with it, but by no longer feeding it. The more you embody your new self, the less power the old story has. It fades, not because you... And there is no need to explain this process to others. Many will not understand. They will still be hypnotized by facts, still convinced that outer change must precede inner change. But you will smile gently. You will bless them, not with words, but with presence. And perhaps in time, your life will serve as their invitation, a quiet reminder that reality bends for the one who dares to assume. There is no more fear of loss, because you know nothing can be lost that is held in consciousness. There is no more desperation, because you understand that everything flows from within. Even when appearances contradict your desire, you do not panic. You remain still. You speak as one who has. You walk as one who knows. You rest in the awareness that it is done, and from that rest, creation flows. You don't need to scream at the mountain. You whisper and it moves. You don't need to beg the heavens. You declare, and the heavens respond. You don't need to force outcomes. You embody the state, and the outcomes unfold. This is the power you were born with, not to be used once in desperation, but to be lived daily, silently, consistently. And it is so much simpler than the world has taught. It does not require rituals or effort or years of struggle. It requires willingness. Willingness to believe, to receive, to persist in the unseen until it becomes seen. Willingness to abandon the familiar if it no longer serves the future you are becoming. Willingness to say, I am, even when the evidence says you are not. Now, as you move deeper into this way of being, you begin to feel light, unburdened. There is no pressure, because you know that nothing you truly desire is outside of you. You are not trying to get. You are simply letting the world reflect what you have already accepted. And if it does not appear today, you do not waver. You know that the law is always working. You know that every assumption is a command. You know that the universe is faithful to what you feel as real. You become gentle with yourself. You do not judge the moments when you falter. You return to the state. You remember the truth. You practice the feeling, and with every return, the new state becomes more solid, more familiar, more real than anything else, until one day you wake up and your world looks exactly like the one you once only saw within. And then you dream again, you expand again, you assume again. For there is no end to creation, no ceiling to imagination. You have tasted your power, and you will never again settle for a life built on circumstance. You will build it from within, brick by invisible brick, scene by imagined scene, until the whole world reflects the masterpiece you carry in your heart. So now, walk forward, not in hesitation, but in boldness. You know now that creation is not out there, it begins within. Every fulfilled dream, every manifested desire, every unexpected blessing is simply a mirror of the assumption you held with unwavering conviction. The world is not the cause of your life, it is the effect. And you are no longer waiting for things to change. Let the others strive, let them chase outcomes and call it progress. You have discovered a higher way. You have remembered that your imagination is not fiction, it is the sacred script of reality. You no longer ask if the universe will repay you. You know it must. For what you assume with feeling and persist in with faith must unfold. Not always in the way you expect, but always in the way that blesses you beyond measure. And when it does, when life begins to overflow with the very essence of your assumption, stand still and give thanks. Not because you are surprised, but because you are aware. Aware that everything came from within. Aware that you are the operant power. Aware that you no longer live in reaction, but in creation. This is your inheritance. This is your truth. The universe has heard you. It has moved. It is delivering, not because you pleaded, but because you believed. And now it is done. Walk in it. Feel it. Live it, for the world is simply rising to meet the reality you have already claimed.